Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm dear darling. Should we see what's going on a lovely island of Fawnhallow today, where I'm recording a bit earlier than usual. Normally I should try and get into the swing of recording this early, but it's also because I'm going to be busy this afternoon, evening, because today is a Euros final in 2024 and I'm watching with some friends. And if you didn't know, England is in the finals against, I don't even know who they're against, Spain, maybe? Euros 2024 final. Yes, it'll be today at 8 PM UK time, and it's a big event, I suppose, if you're in England. Not so much for me, because I don't really watch football. So soccer, this is if you're American. But still, I mean, I can appreciate how interesting it's going to be. So anyway, hello everyone. Right now in Fawnhallow, it's 12:02 PM on Sunday, July 14th, 2024. So right now, of course, I'm going to record some Animal Crossing. I'm playing some Neopets on the side as well. A Void Within is heating up. I keep forgetting to check in with a Void Within because I forget I'm meant to check in every 6 hours or so for the hospital thing, but I basically only play once a day, so that doesn't happen. But yes, okay, battle. Let's go over to battle, fight in Battle Dome, volunteer in Neopets Hospital, because these are ones which take the longest. But yeah, it's a Euros 2024 final. If you don't know what that means, there's I don't, is Euros a yearly thing? Hold on. Euros, how often? Every 4 years. Okay, so it is every 4 years. For some reason in my head, I was like, it's every 4 years, but then I was like, it's yearly? And then I was like, wait a minute, I don't remember it last year though. But it's basically a football competition or a soccer competition. I'm going to be saying football, obviously, all this time, which takes place somewhere in Europe and involves like all these different countries of Europe coming together and having a big old tournament. It starts off with like the group stage, like it's a very standard tournament format, like there's nothing crazy. There's just like the group stage, and then it goes like the 16 finals, quarterfinals, 16 finals, 8 finals, quarterfinals, semi-finals, which were last week, and then actual finals this week. And it's interesting, you know, like I'm not really that into football and soccer, which is definitely more of an anomaly, I think, in England compared to most of my peers, especially, you know, like when younger, everyone's got a football team they support, and I was just like, I don't even know what these football teams are, to be honest. It's just interesting because my father does actually like football/soccer, but he doesn't have like any allegiance to a team or something, and didn't really follow it so much. At least, never to a case where it was like, I remember it being on television when I was younger. So I guess, like, by nature of that and the fact that I didn't really care for playing it, like, I never played it when I was younger, I, like, never got really, like, any interest in football or soccer whatsoever. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I don't mean this as, like, a holier than thou sort of thing. Like, I don't think... I mean, football's football. If you like it, then absolutely go participate. More power to you. I just basically know very little about it, and I don't follow it in the slightest. So I'm just sort of like, I don't really know what's going on. But you know, even I can recognise it's an important situation. Not important situation, but like has potential to be like a really fantastic situation, I suppose, with England in the finals of Euros 2024. And if we win, I don't know. I know there's always a lot of like, I'm not sure controversy is the right word, but a lot of people just being like, oh, we don't deserve to be here or whatever because of like our managers or something terrible strategy. I don't really know. Like, it's the sort of vibes I get from people posting memes online, but I don't really understand the context of a meme. So you might be just like, why are you even looking at them? I don't know. It's just like, they're just popular, I guess. But like, yeah, I believe last time we were also in the finals against Italy or something. I don't remember. No, I mean, obviously we lost, I'm pretty sure, but I don't really remember what the match was like. I don't even remember if I watched it, to be honest. Maybe I did with like friends or something. It sounds plausible. It would have been... No, it would have been uni time. I would have graduated by then, wouldn't I? I have no idea what I honestly did, but you know, today at the very least, watching it with some friends. And apparently also like Wimbledon finals is on today. I don't know who's a Wimbledon finalist. Wimbledon finals. Djokovic versus Alcaraz. I don't know who Alcaraz is, but it's today at 2 apparently. And there's also some other League of Legends match going on today. I don't really know. most of kind of what's going on. I'm just kind of here for vibes, to be perfectly honest, which that I'd like to think is not all too crazy. But yeah, I mean, like I feel like sports is a great unifier, isn't it? I feel like it's very easy for people to, you know, I mean, it's a very 2000 thing to have like a sort of like nerd versus jock sort of divide, you know. It's like a classic high school trope where it's just like, oh, you know, like for nerds, people with nerdy hobbies see like sports as like a like meathead sort of hobby, and then like the other way around to see it as like a loser hobby, which you know, I think is like needlessly reductive. Like, what's the point of all these cliques and whatever, you know? Let's learn from the lessons of High School Musical, where we break down the walls between cliques and understand that it's groupings by things which are positive rather than things which necessarily need to be negative, viewed in a negative light. So yeah, I don't have, well, I like to think I don't have a holier than thou attitude towards sports and that sort of thing. I'm sure I did when I was younger and when I was a smarmy child or something, but like, I mean, it just like, doesn't interest me. Like, I'm not invested in the stories. I don't know the people. I don't know any of the strategy or the technique that's going on, but I still like vibe out enough with like watching a football match. I can understand, like, I know what the rules are, like, basically, or at least well enough. Apparently I didn't know the offside rules or something as well as I thought I did, although technically, like, I got it wrong because of some technicality or something. Anyway, I don't really know. It doesn't really matter to me. So I know enough to follow like what's going on. I don't really know like any strategies, what's being used, but it makes me think that, like, you know, sport is a great unifier. I'm like, you think about it, like, obviously my view is very sort of westernized, but you know, Euros 2024, big sort of event which people check in. Olympics, huge event every 4 years which people check in. Like, it doesn't matter what country you're from, I feel like people are always checking in. Because the thing with the Olympics as well is there's always going to be like one sport which people like to check it in. And even for me, like, I don't watch like that much of anything, but even I will check in like some of the sports. I'll be like, oh, you know, let's see like what the fencing finals match was like, or like I don't like, despite that I did archery, I don't actually watch archery because archery is not a fun sport to watch. I know it's kind of like boring, but fencing, if you haven't watched fencing, watch fencing. Fencing is an absolutely exhilarating sport to watch, in my opinion. And especially because it looks so high tech, I suppose, with not the scoring system, but the detection system that they have with all the lights, and like you get a point and everything on one side of the piece like flashes green, and it's like, whoa. Yeah, interesting actually. Now I think about it, they use green and red for the fencing thing instead of blue and red, because green red color blindness is a pretty big thing. I guess it's a flashing light and it's more spatial oriented, so it doesn't actually matter, but. And that is a bit of a weirdness now I think about it. Whatever. Yes, what I was going to say is sport is like a sort of grand old unifier. So even if you aren't invested in a sport and your country's doing well and is in like the finals of some sort of tournament, I feel like most people will sort of come together to watch it anyway. That's like the sort of general vibes I get, which is, you know, cool, I think. It's always, I mean, like, obvious. I feel like it's obvious to say it's really cool when things can bring people together rather than apart, right? But I think about this, like, I'm not American, and I think about this in the context of like Super Bowl, which happens every year, whatever. Like, you know, when Super Bowl happens, I'm just like, I have no idea what's going on. Like, I don't even really know the rules to American football. I assume they're somewhat similar to rugby, but even then, I have like a tenuous grasp on what the rugby rules are. But like, you know, people come together to have like these huge watch parties of the Super Bowl finals, rooting for one team or another. I don't know. It's cool. It's cool. So I don't know. I guess it's kind of exciting to see the Olympics when they happen later this year. I mean, this year's a good year for sports, I guess. It's an absolutely fantastic year for sports if you are a sports fan, because there's so many things going on. Euros, I guess Wimbledon might be a yearly thing. I don't actually know. But anyway, that's not a point. I wonder what's going to happen, I suppose, if we win. Obviously, this is not the World Cup for football. That happens in 2 more years' time, I think. But it'd be interesting if, like, I don't know. Like, how did we do in the last World Cup in England? I don't remember. Did we get to quarterfinals? I have no recollection. But it's like, it just sort of makes you think, like, how big a unifier sport is. Because wasn't, like, the most watched event in British history was 1966 World Cup finals, where England was actually in it or something. I don't know if that's still the case anymore, but like that's as I understand it. And if that isn't a symbol, I suppose, of a great unification, I don't know what else is, to be honest. So yeah, gosh, still 10 more minutes to talk about a sport which I have little investment in. As I say, I'm just there to sort of vibe out and have a good time. I don't know. Well, we'll probably do some other stuff as well. We'll be eating some food. I might bring my laptop and do some drawing or something. I don't know at the same time. I've had very little time to draw. And actually saying that, I probably will just end up planning tomorrow's D&D session instead, rather than drawing, because, you know, again, timing. But yeah, I forgot what I was going to say about this. I'm not sure if I was going to say anything about this. Let's see what's on my weekly quest for Neopets. Dimensional paintbrush! That's one I do want. I love the fact. Wait, how much does dimensional paintbrush even cost? It may be more cost effective to actually re-roll it for a different prize and then try and get it. 2 million? I think 2 million is worth it. Alright, time to do some daily quests. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I remember when I was younger following in, like, I don't think I ever followed Euros, but I did follow World Cup, sort of. Like, both my sister and my father are much more into football than I am. Like, I have, as I think I've pretty much established, essentially no knowledge about what's going on, especially when I was younger, about football. Like, I think I told this story before, but fantasy football, when I was younger, I didn't realise was based off, like, actual football. I've always thought fantasy football was, like, a thing where you, like, simulated, like, where they got, like, I thought it was literally, like, a video game, but they got, like, and then they put, like, these made-up people into the video game and was like, oh, we'll just sort of see who wins, and then it's based off that. Because I feel like the only exposure I had to something like that would have been, like, the Outdoor Cup on Neopets, as, like, a sort of tournament thing. Yellow Side Bunny Morphing Potion? Holy. It's just as, like, a daily prize? When are they going to put a Lutari potion into the daily prize pool? I'm going to lose my mind if that happens. But yeah, like, I genuinely didn't even realise that. Whoa, a story quest apparently going on in Brightvale. Didn't realise that. Like, I didn't realise fantasy football was actually based off actual football, which blew my mind when I found out. I was like, what are you talking about? Because I remember the moment as well where they were talking about, like, with fantasy football in the school assembly. And I remember the headmaster was just, like, asking one of the people, oh, like, did you want to put, like, Wayne Rooney on your team or something? I was like, Wayne Rooney? He's, like, an actual person. Like, did they... And if anything, it's a testament to how much I believed this. I was like, oh, did they put, like, actual football players into this simulated, like, football game? Rather than thinking, oh, it's based off actual football. It wasn't until my friend told me. She was super into football, and she said that sort of thing. It's like, you got to get Peter Crouch off your football team because he's, like, literally out with an injury. He's earning you no points. And I was just like, I don't know what you're talking about. Who's Peter Crouch? It's really funny. And then that was the moment I realised that fantasy football was actually based off actual football games. Anyway, she gave me, like, a cheat sheet of what to do for, like, fantasy football, which I followed. And then I still think I was, like, bottom 10 or something in the school, but, you know, I wasn't last. How well did she do? I think she actually got, like, third or something overall, which is crazy. Especially because we were, like, in year 2 or year 3. So anyway, what else I was going to sorry, finals. I remember, like, following it slightly when I was younger, mainly because my family kind of did. I remember the thing I liked to do was, like, having this big old I don't know what it's called. Like, you print out this big old, like, tournament bracket paper or whatever. I basically like tracking the score of what happened with that. You know, just like, oh, what happened in this match? Oh, this person, you know, got so many, this team got so many goals against this team, and, like, tracking it on over tournaments. I just like filling in that sheet, which, if it isn't, like, an incredibly me thing to say, it is an incredibly me thing to say. But yeah, that's basically what I remember from my experience of, like, football things. I can't, You know, I don't really remember what I was doing 4 years ago. Hold on. Let's see. 2020. No, wait, hold on. Euros 2020? Was that the last Euros? Final date. It was on 11th of July 2021. Oh yeah, they won on penalties. 11th of July 2021. Let's see if I have any photos on that day, just to see what I was doing. Because I generally have no recollection. Maybe we're on holiday, maybe we weren't. It's June. July. Don't know, no photos. I don't know what this photo is. August 2021, but we're watching something. I've got no idea what... This must be like a League of Legends finals or something. But apparently 2 days before we went out to a place nearby to, I assume, watch a movie. That must have been The Last of Us. No, sorry, not Last of Us. A Quiet Place. Because one of the friends who's in the photos, I feel like we only ever see horror movies with, for some reason. Much to his chagrin, he doesn't like horror movies. But it's just every time, the only times he's been available when we've asked him would be for horror movies, which is quite funny. Anywho, yeah, so basically just sort of like tracking the score was basically my involvement when it came to like the World Cup and Euros. Not even Euros. Like I only have like the vaguest like, oh gosh, my controller fell over. The vaguest idea of what's going on in this Euros because of like osmosis from other people talking about it. Not to say that I didn't know England was making it through. I did basically catch some minutes of like the England match here and there. I would say that like during England versus, I can't remember who it was. Hold on. Euros 2024 brackets? England versus Slovakia, that was it. I was watching them and I think Slovakia was up like 1-0 or something. And then like I watched basically the last few minutes, and like in the few minutes I watched, I only watched for like 5 minutes or something. I feel like England scored 2 goals and I was like, oh okay. And then I stopped watching and I was like, oh okay, we won. Yes. Yeah, so I don't know. We'll see how well this video ages. Whether we absolutely knock it out of the park and we win, and then there'll be celebrations. I can't imagine how crazy it's going to be if we do actually win, celebrations all around and stuff like that. And how crazy it won't be, I suppose, if we don't. So yeah, I think on that note, I'm going to round this episode off here. So if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Dear Darling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares, greatly appreciated. Socials, Discord down below. Hope we see each other again. But for now, it's our farewell. So until next time, bye-bye for now. And let's hope it's an exciting match today, hey?